I dedicated this podcast to independent artists. I want to give you guys a straight look in the industry, man. Also want to highlight people behind the music scene, business side. When people see people behind the scenes, they don't know who that is. Going on, Inkz, go ahead, Mr. Billionaire. I'm here, man. Who's That Podcast? Welcome to Who's That Podcast, the hottest podcast where we interview the dopest people behind the scenes, and we shine a light on them because I want to give them their flowers while they're here. So this episode is another episode with Quick Time with Inkz, right? But again, stay tuned. We got a lot of dope artists coming. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Who's That Podcast. Also, follow me at Trendset Inkz. Also, pay attention. Me and my guy, we teaming up to give artists major distribution, man. If you need distribution, marketing, promotion, definitely tap in with us. And also, I got my Billionaire Academy coming up, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And I'm doing that because I really want to give artists a chance when it comes to funding. Also, when it comes to just getting your hands on resources and getting entwined with these labels, man, I want to give you guys a chance. And my Billionaire Academy, you're going to do just that, right? So listen, this episode, man, what I want to do is talk about purpose, right? I want to make sure you guys understand purpose. I want to make sure you guys have a purpose for doing this music stuff, man. The only way I can share that and kind of inspire you is by sharing you my purpose and why I'm doing this, right? So the reason why I'm even helping artists out, the reason why I'm even in the music industry, the reason why I'm even doing any of this is because my purpose is to help and inspire people that really didn't have a fair shot at doing music, right? So basically, man, I seen a way I can help artists get funding without them doing crazy things, without them begging people, without them lowering their standards, and trading that integrity for money, right? I seen a way where we can leverage credit, where we can leverage finance, where we can educate ourselves on financial literacy to get us the money we need to make our dreams come true. At the end of the day, a lot of things comes down to money. It's sad, but it's true. You do need money to be in the music industry, right? Now, you don't need a lot of money, but you do need some type of funding. You need some type of backing to get you to the next level. And that's really in any business. If you got a product, and if you're an artist, you got a product because your product is music, merch, whatever you're selling. If you got a product, a lot of times you're going to need money to push it. Now, a lot of times money can overcomplicate things, but when it's all said and done, you definitely need some money to push it, right? So coming up, right, I came up in the projects, and I was raised by my granny, and I was raised around a lot of people that had great talent, they had great dreams, but they couldn't really achieve their dreams because they didn't have the money to do it. So that would lead them into doing things that was illegal, that would lead them doing things that wasn't right morally, that would lead them doing things that's just crazy because they had the talent, they knew they could make it happen, but they didn't have the finances, and most importantly, they didn't have the education behind that to figure out how they can get some money without doing crazy things, right? So I grew up in that environment. My mom was in and out of jail. My dad, he didn't live exactly with me. We had a relationship, but I was kind of raised up on my own a lot of times. But again, I was raised by my granny, and she taught me a lot of things, but she was older, so a lot of things she really couldn't understand. So coming up as a young man in that environment, you tend to learn a lot of things, but you also tend to grow up kind of fast, and then you also become like a hustler. So growing up, I was a hustler. I knew how to get some money, but getting money was never really hard for me or for people around me. It was mostly keeping money, investing, and flipping it because we didn't get an education on that. We was taught how to get money. We was taught things to do to get money, but we really wasn't taught how to flip it, how to make it last longer, and how to scratch it, right? As soon as we get money, we want to spend it. That was typically the habit. You get some money, you happy for the moment, it's gone, you back at square one, right? And it was the same thing for people around me. And I seen this growing up. I seen people will have money. The dope boys got money, but it doesn't last long. So they couldn't invest it. And the police would take it before they can even do anything with it. So I learned myself right there. It got to be a way people can make money, keep money, and save it. And again, this was not the technology era. You know, you couldn't get on Instagram and see a financial guru or Bitcoin, I don't know, ETF. You didn't have any of those things, man. You only seen your environment unless you had the chance to go different places. And most time growing up, you know, most people, they kind of stuck in their area, right? We didn't have a car. We couldn't, you know, we didn't fly and stuff like that. So kind of grew up from what you seen, and nobody really had a good financial aspect on life, right? So coming up, I was afforded the ability to go to college through my grandma. Shout out to her, rest her soul. She struggled. She met this lady named Miss Beasley. Shout out Miss Beasley. And my sister's calendar. Shout out my sister. And they put something together, and I was able to go to school. And right there when I went to college, man, I learned the power of networking, and I also learned the music business side. So in high school, I was always in music, right? But coming up, when you coming up in the projects or impoverished environment, any black community, right, you probably want to play sports. That was the thing. Everybody wanted to play basketball, football. Everybody was trying to go to the NBA or the NFL, right? So I was trying to do the same thing. I thought that would take me up out of there, right? That's where everybody was focusing on. So I used to do that as a youngin', but I was always in the music, and the sports thing didn't really work for me because I'm like, man, I'm not keep coming out here running every day, right? So that was just me. It didn't work for me. But I did stick with music, and like I said, I was afforded the ability to go to school, right? And when I got to college, man, it opened up my mind to a lot of different things, especially when it came to networking, talking to people, because coming up, that was the thing as well. You didn't talk to people you didn't know. It just wasn't something you do, right? But when I went to college, I learned, man, the ability to network and leverage my network. I might don't have some, I might don't know some, but I can meet somebody to do that, or they know that. Like Rick Ross said, shout out Rick Ross. He said, you might don't have some, but somebody could co-assign you. Somebody can co-assign you or put it on co-assignment. That way, that means basically you might not have the resources, but you know somebody that do, or you know somebody that could co-sign you to somebody else. And that's the power of networking. And when they say your network is your net worth, it really is, because you might not have something, but you can meet somebody tomorrow by talking to them and can open the door for you, right? So again, we was in college. And again, remember, the main purpose of this whole quick time with Inkz today is purpose. And I'm telling you this because through these trials and tribulations, this how I learned my purpose. So when you're doing music, right, you got to figure out your purpose. Why are you doing this? Why are you here? Or again, are you just doing this because everybody else doing, you following the wave? At one point in time, I played sports because everybody else did it. I was just following the wave. I didn't have a love for it, but it didn't last long. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. If you don't find your purpose in time, you're going to do something, you're going to burn out of it. Just like football with me, I burnt out of it because it wasn't my purpose. I wasn't put here to do it, right? Because I only did it because I seen others doing it, which why it didn't last for me. So when you're doing music, if you're just doing it for somebody else, you're doing it for a quick check, there's nothing wrong with that. But establish that off the early so you're not wasting your time. You're not wasting other people's time, because again, you're not here for the love. You're not here from a longevity standpoint. You're here to get a check, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. But establish that off the early. So like I said, I was in college. I learned the power of networking. Then I got into the music business, right? I became a label rep at my school for all of major artists. Major artists would come to my campus. I would show them around. I invite them around. And I became the go-to guy for that, man. And through the power of networking, shout out my man Ant. He was one of the first ones that gave me an opportunity when it came to just working with artists. And I became that. And then after that, I graduated from school, right? But I came out of school in debt. Right, I came out of school in debt, really no job. And again, if you're a mass communication major, man, shout out to my mass comm majors. Make sure you establish what you want to do early in school, right? So when you get out of school, you'll have a plan, something to actually do. When I came out of school, it really wasn't no job for me that I wanted to do. I came up in a small city. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. I moved all around, but originally I'm from Richmond. And when I came up there, right, it really wasn't no media, PR, music. It really wasn't those type of jobs there because it's a smaller city. If you're coming up in a small city, it'll be a lot of marketing jobs, but the marketing ain't something you really want to do because the way they got it set up is just not fun, right? It's more about selling and stuff like that, which, don't get it twisted, selling is very important. If you could sell something, you'll be rich for the rest of your life, right? So don't undetermine that. But at the same time, that's not what I wanted to do at that point. You see what I'm saying? So, excuse me. Like I was saying, I came up, I was doing that, right? So what I end up doing, man, I end up quitting on my jobs. I ain't gonna lie, I got fired like 10 times. So don't feel discouraged if you get fired. Don't feel discouraged if the actual door closed on you. I heard a lot of no's coming up, right? But that didn't deter me away from my purpose, because I was finding my purpose as I go, but I kept, running into roadblocks. And you're gonna run into those. You're gonna hear a lot of no's. Again, no just stands for another opportunity. We all know that. So you're gonna hear a lot of those. That just means another opportunity coming. When that door closed, another one is about to open up for you. So I quit all my jobs, man. I stopped paying all my bills for like 2 years. Now I took a big hit for this, but the only way I could achieve my dream is not working, right? Now some people have the ability and they have the technique, they have the skill, and they have the time to actually work and chase their dreams. Me personally, that didn't work for me, right? So what I did was I quit all my jobs. I took a major hit. I owed everybody in the world. I had constantly bill collectors calling me every day, but I know for a fact, for me to get to where I needed to get to, I couldn't work at the same time. I had to have the ability to move around that's the thing about working. It puts you on a schedule, so you can't do things outside of that. So I had to be able to move around, network, talk to people, travel, do different things to actually get some leeway in this music industry. And I end up doing that, and I end up going a lot of different places, a lot of different conferences. And I end up working and becoming a tour manager, right? And then I became tour manager for my guy Av, and we still work together today. Shout out Av. He was the first artist to give me an opportunity. You're going to bump into a lot of people in this music industry that say they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to do this. It's fluff, it's talk. It just sound good. And when you call them the next day, they're not even going to pick up the phone. So don't get discouraged. If you bump to somebody say they're going to change your life, they're going to do this for you, they're going to give you a record deal, whatever, it don't matter. Don't get discouraged if they don't do it, because people in this industry, unfortunately, they don't hold. It's very few that hold their word. You're not going to meet a lot of people that's actually going to say something and actually tell the truth, right? A lot of people are going to do it because it sound good. A lot of people just so busy they don't have time, right? And don't take it out to heart. You know what I mean? Keep moving, keep going. But if you keep going, I promise you're going to bump into somebody that's going to align with your purpose, and that's going to give you a real opportunity. And like I said, Av gave me my first opportunity to get some real money, right? He actually put me on a payroll, which gave me the confidence to actually go harder, because I ain't gonna lie, when you do this for free, I did this for free for years. I never ever got paid off anything I really did in industry for a good, I want to say 5-6 years. I want to say I ain't really make no money. Money here and there, but I ain't really make no real money. I was on nobody's payroll. It was just you make a little money here. It wasn't no real money. You know what I'm saying? So I was starting to make real money. That's when I started paying my bills again. I'm like, all right, I'm making some money. I'm doing a little something. I can start paying my bills and all that, right? So paying my bills allowed me to see, okay, now again, my credit was shot because I ain't paid bills in 2 years. My credit was shot. It was down, right? But I started studying credit, and I started looking into a lot of different things. Shout out my dog, Him 500. Him 500 put me on that credit thing. And I was able to fix my credit. But I started studying, I started learning. I'm like, all right, so look, check it out. If I can leverage my credit, I don't have to use my money. That whole time, this 5-6 years, I'm using all my money. I'm using my money for gas, food, everything, because I ain't know you could use credit like this, right? So I started using credit to do everything, and I started using the reward cards. So you know them reward cards, when you spend money and you get money back on your reward cards, whole time you spending all this money, you could be using your credit card, because then they give you free money, right? So I started utilizing that, and then I just started building up. My cash started coming in a little more. I started monetizing things as well. And I understand, too, a lot of times you guys are doing stuff, but you're not monetizing it, and you're not sitting back taking advantage of the people that's beside you. So Av always told me this. He was hard on me at sometimes. Like, I would be at a table with different people, and he like, yo, pay attention. Right? A lot of people would have looked at it like, why are you talking to me like that? But he was telling me pay attention, because it was an opportunity to change my life and change my surroundings. I'm at a table with people that's got millions, and I'm not paying attention. I'm texting on my phone, right? So sometimes what we got to do is we got to put the ego aside, take advantage of the opportunities that's around us, and also listen to people and not take it as a negative thing. You understand what I'm saying? So by me doing that, I'm able to leverage my credit. I'm getting my money up. I started paying more on my bills, and then I'm noticing my credit score was going up to like the 700s. Once my credit score hit like 720, it was a wrap. From that 720, I was able to get anything I really wanted, all credit. Get any car I want, get any house, get any apartment, any condo, whatever I want. I ended up getting cars, condos, all different type of things, all credit. But I didn't just go out here using it frivolously and being irresponsible, right? I was using it to actually acquire income. So as an artist, if I'm an artist and I need to bring another revenue stream in, I'm going to use that credit to bring the revenue stream. I'm not going to use that credit to buy jewelry, things that don't really have any type of value to it, right? I'm buy assets, not liabilities. Not saying jewelry is a liability, because jewelry, real gold, is worth a lot, and we know the price of gold is constantly going up. But a lot of times you guys put diamonds in it, and whatever you're doing, gold, Rolex, whatever you putting diamonds in, it messes up the value of it. So it's nothing wrong with jewelry, but if you're going to invest in something, invest in things that's actually an asset, so you can actually make some real money off it, right? So again, like I was saying, I was doing that, and then I started saying, okay, listen, if I could teach artists how to do this, it'll change their life. If I could save 1 or 2 people the time of not having to do all these crazy things that they doing, because again, we coming up, man, I seen people do all type of stuff for money because they was chasing their dream. They wasn't doing things for money just to do it. They was trying to get their family out the projects. They was trying to move. They was trying They was trying to chase their dreams, but they couldn't do it because they was financially in a hole and they didn't have the education to actually do something that wasn't illegal, right? Because you do what's in your hand. Again, back in the day, we had to walk to the library. We couldn't get on. We didn't know what to go to on Google. We had to walk to the library. We didn't have Instagram. I think we had like Bebo. I think we had I think Twitter. I think Twitter was around. I forgot, but it wasn't big. Facebook too, but it just wasn't big. Facebook became big, became like the gossip channel, but it wasn't big at that time. You know what I'm saying? So for somebody to learn something like us, we had to actually walk to the library. How many people is getting up out their bed and walking to the library? People did do it, but it wasn't like. Then when you get to the library, you got to look up the encyclopedia or the book. Like, that just wasn't happening. You know what I'm saying? But now we got the phones. We can hit anything on Google. We can go on Instagram and see our favorite people doing things that, you know, that we want to do. So again, artists, figure out your purpose. I guarantee you, if you figure out your purpose, that will lead you into what you really want to do, right? You figure out your purpose. And then once you figure out your purpose, again, I call it the 3 rules. Figure out your purpose. Once you figure out your purpose, it'll lead you into why you're doing something. And then once it get hard, you won't quit. That's the biggest thing. Most people quit because when they get to doing something, right, they quit because they don't have no purpose in it. Of course you're going to quit. You don't have no real reason to do it, right? So figure out your purpose. 2, OPM, others people money. Once I know why I'm doing this, now I can go get a bag. I can go get somebody else money, use it for my business. That way I'm not burning up my own dollar. And then 3, get a mentor. Get somebody that did this before, can teach you. Now again, getting a mentor is not easy because 9 times out of 10, to get in the room with somebody who don't have what you have, got more than what you have, you got to get in the room, right? And usually it's going to cost you to get in that room. You got to develop a relationship, but try to get in that room any way how that you possibly can because you want to constantly grow. You don't want to be stuck. You don't want to be the person in your circle that's just the smartest all the time, right? Because if that's the case, you're really in a cage, man. You know everything. You got to get around people that know more than you, right? So to do that, again, it takes a lot of getting out your square, going to different things, man, and learning different people. So again, artists, understand your purpose. Purpose, OPM, mentorship. You do those 3 things, and I guarantee you would definitely go far. So again, man, it's Inkz. Quick Time with Inkz. Who's That Podcast? Again, follow us at Who's That Podcast, the biggest podcast interviewing the dopest people behind the scenes and giving you the dope advice, man, so you can go to that next level. We out here.